The United States government and its banks are going to have a huge liquidity issue coming up in the next year or two, and it's going to be a huge problem. I'm going to tell you what liquidity means. I'm going to tell you how we got here and why we got here and why no one's talking about it. And I'm going to tell you what you can do about it. So what is liquidity? Liquidity is the ease of converting an asset into cash or cash itself. The most liquid asset in the entire world is United States Treasuries. We're going to come back to that in a minute. How did we get here with this liquidity issue? The United States is in more debt than it's ever been in ever. This is how we raise capital to get cash to pay our bills. We got to pay for them fighter jets, and we need to issue some more, which leads me to number 2. TBAC, the Treasury Borrowing Advisory Committee. This is like a board that the Treasury put together to advise on its business. Some of the people on the board are like hedge fund managers, whatever. They've been openly meeting, talking about the fact that we need to do something right now about the fact that very soon we're going to have a whole entire liquidity issue. We see it coming down the pipe. They're literally meeting about it and no one's talking about it. The other thing is something called Basel III. Let me give you a little bit of history. Basel is kind of like a central bank for central banks around the world. Basel is this initiative that they decided after we had a huge banking crisis in the 70s. And so in 88, they came up with some regulations that the banks had to comply with in order to make sure that that didn't happen again. So retroactively, they called that Basel I. Then sometime after that, they had Basel II. Hey, we need to make some more changes. Then 2008 happened. The whole entire world went into the financial crisis and they were like, we have to make some changes to the banks because still, even after all these changes, y'all still out here wilding out, making risky bets, doing risky loans. So Basel III. Now, Basel III was in phases. And so the last phase, they're calling it Basel III Endgame because the banks are basically saying, we can't get no more strict than this. And so this is going to have to be it. They're pushing for Basel III Endgame, but the banks don't really want to do it because it's going to tighten credit even further, which is going to what? Reduce liquidity around the world, not just for the US government, for everyday people, especially Americans. So let's go into what you can do about it. Number 1, I've been giving y'all this strategy over and over and over again on the podcast. I hope that you guys are listening. Only if you know an industry really, really well, start gearing up to start providing loans because the banks will not be able to do it just willy-nilly like they were in the past. And there are going to be some really good businesses that need liquidity because the businesses are so good, they'll be able to pay a little bit of a premium. But because you know how to underwrite, because you know that industry way better than these private credit lenders do, you can pick the good businesses. If you are like, hey, listen, Nicole, I'm not going to do all that. I just want to take care of my babies, go to work, come home. I just want to make sure I'm straight. I love that for you. This is what you're going to do. You're going to build relationships with local banks because all this is going to affect them just a little bit less than the big banks. You're also going to build relationships with these private lenders. You need to start making sure that you are in the right spaces to build these relationships because the whole entire banking landscape is going to change over the next 2 years. You already know I'm going to do a deep dive on the newsletter this week. If you didn't get the last Hot Fire Flames newsletter, comment newsletter down below. It'll automatically send you last week's. You'll be added to the list to get this week's newsletter. I'm going to do more of a deep dive on all the strategies to take advantage of this information.